Welcome back, riders. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting comebacks in motocross history, the 2025 Kawasaki KX500. That's right, the legendary 500 cubic centimeters two-stroke beast has been reborn, and it's fiercer, faster, and more refined than ever. Whether you're a die-hard fan of the original or new to the game, this bike is going to blow your mind. Let's break down everything you need to know about the all-new KX500. The legacy of the KX500. Before we get into the specs, we have to talk about the legacy. The original Kawasaki KX500 was an icon in the world of motocross, a brute force two-stroke monster that dominated in the desert and on the track from the 1980s through the early 2000s. It was known for insane power, unrelenting torque, and an unmistakable roar. But as four-strokes took over the MX world, the KX500 faded into history. Or so we thought. Fast forward to 2025, and Kawasaki has answered the prayers of two-stroke lovers everywhere with a modern take on a legendary machine. Design. The 2025 KX500 stays true to its heritage in terms of aggressive design, but it's been completely reimagined for today's rider. The frame is a lightweight aluminum perimeter design, inspired by the KX450 platform but reinforced for the raw power of a 500 cubic centimeters two-stroke engine. You'll notice the slim profile, sleek plastics, and a sharp front fender, all designed for aggressive riding. The ergonomics have been reworked for a more natural standing position, better control in the corners, and reduced rider fatigue during long motos or trail rides. And yes, that iconic KX lime green color scheme is back, and it looks better than ever. Engine. Let's get into what really matters, the engine. The new KX500 features a totally redesigned 499 cubic centimeters two-stroke engine. This isn't just a revival of the old motor, it's a modern reinterpretation. Liquid-cooled, with an electronic power valve system, and a reworked cylinder head for optimized combustion and smoother power delivery. And here's the kicker, it's now fuel-injected. That's right, Kawasaki has finally brought electronic fuel injection to their big-bore two-strokes, which means no more jetting headaches, cleaner throttle response, and better fuel efficiency. The power delivery is still as raw and punchy as you'd expect, but it's more controllable than the old-school KX500. You still get that signature two-stroke hit, but now it's more usable across the rev range. Handling, balancing the beast. The KX500 is surprisingly nimble in some ways, but heavy in others. The front end feels solid and responsive, but you've got to be on top of it constantly. You can't just sit back and coast like you might on a modern 250F. This bike requires an aggressive riding style. You have to lean forward, stay centered, and anticipate how the bike's going to react under throttle. That said, once you settle into a rhythm, it flows really well. It likes sweeping corners more than tight hairpins, and it definitely prefers momentum over stop and go. I had a few sketchy moments trying to adjust to the way the rear end kicks out if you're not careful. It's controllable, but only if you're paying full attention. The track, crowded but still worth it. I wish I could have done a more complete moto. Honestly, I was planning to go all out, pushing myself, timing jumps, testing lines, but the track was busy, and there were riders everywhere. I kept getting stuck behind slower traffic, which threw off my flow and made it hard to build speed. But I didn't want to be that guy diving inside or forcing risky passes, especially not on my first full ride. Still, there were enough open sections where I could let the bike breathe. Even in short bursts, it felt incredible. There's nothing quite like hearing that two-stroke scream echoing through the trees. It gave me just enough of a taste to know, I want more of this. Camera challenges, trying to keep it clean. One of the more frustrating parts of the ride was keeping the GoPro lens clean. Mud, roost, dust, it was all flying straight at the camera. I had to keep wiping it off whenever I could, and even then, some of the footage got a little messy. But hey, that's the reality of riding, right? It made me think about how easy it is to forget the behind-the-scenes part of documenting rides. When you're out there, you're not just riding. You're filming, you're managing angles, you're thinking about what the footage will look like. And sometimes that means sacrificing a perfect lap to make sure the camera doesn't get completely coated in dirt. It's just part of the game. The fun factor, why this bike rocks. Even with all the small annoyances, I had a huge smile on my face the entire time. The KX500 is a monster, but it's a fun monster. It challenges you. It tests your reflexes. And when you get it right, when you come out of a corner on the pipe, rear wheel sliding, engine screaming, it feels better than any roller coaster on earth. It's not just about the speed. It's the sound, the vibration, the raw mechanical violence of it. Modern bikes are amazing, don't get me wrong, but the KX500 reminds you of what motorcycling used to be, simple, loud, and completely unfiltered. The challenge is keeping pace. One of the hardest things about this ride was maintaining a consistent pace. The power delivery is so intense that it's easy to go too fast into a corner, or get lazy and let the bike work you instead of the other way around. You have to stay disciplined. Throttle control is everything. There were a few sections where I really struggled. Some of the rutted corners caught me off guard, and I had to muscle the bike around instead of flowing naturally. That's something I want to improve in future rides, staying smooth, keeping that flow going, even when the terrain isn't ideal. What I learned, respect the machine. This first real ride taught me a lot. First and foremost, respect the machine. The KX500 will punish you if you get overconfident. It demands focus, strength, and finesse. But if you give it those things, it rewards you with one of the most thrilling riding experiences out there. I also learned that it's okay to take it slow at first. I didn't need to go out and set the fastest lap. Just feeling the bike, learning how it reacts, and getting comfortable with the weight and power was enough. There's time for more aggressive riding later. Looking ahead, more motos coming soon. If this ride was just the beginning, I can't wait for what's next. I've already got plans to hit some less crowded tracks, maybe do some hill climbs or sand riding to really test the KX500 in different conditions. I want to experiment with different gearing and suspension setups too, to see how it can be fine-tuned to my riding style. There's something addicting about this bike. It's not just a tool, it's a challenge. And I think that's why people fall in love with it. You're not just along for the ride. You're in the fight, every second. Final thoughts, worth the wait. To anyone who's ever thought about owning a KX500, do it. But do it with open eyes. This isn't a plug-and-play bike. It's not a quiet trail cruiser or a relaxed weekend ride. It's aggressive, loud, and physically demanding. But that's what makes it so amazing. This first real ride was far from perfect. I got held up, the camera got dirty, and I never really found my ideal flow, but none of that matters.